Harihi Om Tatsat. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's topic I have chosen: how to fight negative tendencies. Sri Ramakrishna has solutions for all the problems we face in our life. Only we have to diagnose properly what are the negative samskaras bothering us. Then we have to apply proper remedy to rectify them. Sri Ramakrishna is called Bhavaroga Vaidya, the spiritual doctor. So anything concerning spiritual matters can be referred to Sri Ramakrishna and get proper treatment for the sufferings. Anything that takes one away from God is generally called negative samskara. Everyone has got these two samskaras in one's mind. One is positive, another is negative. But people become deeply involved in the worldly affairs, making negative tendencies more and more strong and powerful. And finally they are caught in the net of the negative tendencies. Very difficult to come out of them later on. Extremely difficult. The only hope is everyone has the positive tendency also, in spite of a person being caught in the negative tendencies. Even such a person has the spiritual positive tendency. Only thing is, you have to make the spiritual force stronger and stronger. That means you have to pay utmost attention for creating positive tendencies, to fight the negative tendencies. There are so many negative forces in our mind constantly bothering us, particularly when you want to worship God, when you want to think of God, when you want to pray to God, you are not allowed to do such things because of the force of the negative tendencies in the mind. So we have to diagnose it properly and take effective steps. That's why Sri Ramakrishna has very emphatically said that in spiritual life, most important thing is one should be really serious about spiritual life. One must be very strong in his aspiration. Then only you will be able to fight the negative tendencies. Once you are sincerely struggling in spiritual path, you will be able to diagnose the negative samskaras in the mind. So one of the negative samskaras is laziness, inertia. Under the influence of this quality, one becomes dull and inactive. It is a terrible state of tamas, steeped in tamas. If you are aspiring for spiritual upliftment and peace, really you must shake off all dullness from within you. Laziness is the worst of all sins. It is called a sin. Laziness is a sin. The aim of life is to realize God. That one should primarily understand. Then only spiritual life starts. The aim must be very clear. So realizing God, can such a great task be accomplished so easily? You must never be given to laziness and hypocrisy. Maybe you have nearly swam across to the other bank of the river. But even then, if you do not keep swimming, the current of water will drag you away and get you drowned. So, till you complete the voyage, till you reach the other shore, you must keep swimming. No relaxation until you reach the other shore. That means there is chance of slipping down or falling till you realize the truth. So that means one has to be really alert and careful to the end, up to the end. Sri Ramakrishna said in the Gospel, if you want to realize God, what is very essential is that you must cultivate intense dispassion. The mind plays havoc in one's life. It drags you towards so many things. It pulls you down and down. You are used like a toy. You must renounce immediately what you feel to be standing in your way. You should not put it off till the future. And Sri Ramakrishna has diagnosed the greatest obstruction, the greatest negative force in one's life is lust and gold. That is the excess of desire to enjoy the world, excess of desire towards gold. They are the obstructions. You must renounce immediately what you feel to be standing in your way. You should not put it off till the future. Time has not come. Later on we will do. Now I am quite young. This is time for my enjoyment. Let me play for a while. All this namby-pamby will not work in spiritual matter. Because you will be drowned by your own actions later on, and it is extremely difficult to get out of the negative force. That means the more and more you are involving in worldly affairs and matters, you are making negative forces more and more strong. Instead of weakening them, you are making them strong. So, one has to be very careful. So Sri Ramakrishna says, lust and gold is the obstruction. The mind must be withdrawn from it. Withdrawn. It must be withdrawn. Otherwise, how to focus the mind on God? The moment you sit and meditate or try to meditate on God, all these negative forces jump upon you. They hold your neck tight. So, the negative forces are the demons, asuric nature. Because we are being affected by the asuric forces, we are losing all our human qualities. Instead of rising to divine level, we are going down to become demons. So one has to be very careful in fighting the negative forces. One should be very determined and pursue One must not be slow and lazy. Sri Ramakrishna tells all these things in the Gospel, page number 750. You can read. The whole thing verbatim I have taken. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. A man was going to bathe. He had his towel on his shoulder. His wife said to him, "You are worthless." Wife is scolding the husband. "You are getting old." These are words of Sri Ramakrishna. You are getting old and still you can't give up some of your habits. You can't live a single day without me. Look at that man. What a renouncer he is. And the husband asked, "Why? What has he done?" The wife replied, "He has 16 wives and he is renouncing them one by one. You will never be able to renounce." Wife is telling the husband. Husband said, "Renouncing his wives one by one? You are crazy. He won't be able to renounce. If a man wants to renounce, does he do it little by little?" Wife retorted smilingly. She said, "Still he is better than you." That was a kind of awakening to the husband. Husband said, "You are silly. You don't understand. He can't renounce, but I can. See here, I go." Sri Ramakrishna said, "This is called intense renunciation." No sooner did the man discriminate than he renounced. He went away with the towel on his shoulder. He didn't turn back to settle his worldly affairs. He didn't even look back at his home. He who wants to renounce needs great strength of mind. The lesson here that we should understand is that renunciation means renouncing the desire for sense pleasures. Sri Ramakrishna tells, well, after having one or two children, both of you, both husband and wife, should devote your time and energy in realizing God. How do you know next birth you will again be born as a human being? You have got this chance, make the best use of it. So Sri Ramakrishna tells, strengthen the mind. Mind need to be very strong if it is to be pulled out from the worldly forces. It's a tremendous force. That's why they say going the spiritual path is swimming against the current. Swimming along the current is very easy. Swimming against the current, you have to be very strong. Otherwise you can't swim properly. So Sri Ramakrishna tells, cultivate devotion and love of God and so pass your days. Now, Sri Ramakrishna has said many things, but this is the most important thing which Sri Ramakrishna has pointed out, which I just now told you. Swami Vivekananda also has pointed out how it is very important to get rid of this laziness. Probably must have read 6 lessons on yoga, Raj Yoga. 6 lessons on Raj Yoga. It's a small booklet, but the contents are so nicely organized that 6 lessons enough. If you understand properly and apply in your life, you will realize God in this life itself. You will become Jivan Mukta. You will become Jivan Mukta. You get liberation. But you have to follow those 6 lessons. Only 6 lessons. 6 lessons on Raj Yoga. It is a small booklet. Such a beautiful analytical approach Swami Vivekananda has given there. It's amazing. He says in that book, this is a lesson seeking to bring out the individuality. Each individuality must be cultivated. All will meet at the center. Imagination is the door to inspiration and the basis of all thought. All prophets, poets and discoverers have had great imaginative power. The explanation of nature is in us. The stone falls outside, but gravitation is in us, not outside. Those who stuff themselves, those who starve themselves, those who sleep too much, those who sleep too little, cannot become yogis. It is listed now. Ignorance, it is Swamiji's words, ignorance, fickleness, jealousy, laziness, and excessive attachment are the great enemies to success in yoga practice. Very clearly, Swami said. Simply people, they are attending, there is seminar, here is seminar, he is attending, very busy in attending seminars. But he is same as he was old self. Not an inch improvement. Unless you practice it, how do you improve? Tell me. Coming to Sri Ramakrishna means you must become practical. There is no room for laziness at all. No laziness. Finished. So Swami Vivekananda says 3 great requisites. 1. Purity, physical and mental. All uncleanness, all that would draw the mind down must be abandoned. Swamiji is very strict in giving spiritual instructions. He is very straightforward and strict. See how nicely he tells. All uncleanliness or uncleanness, all that would draw the mind down must be abandoned, because the negative forces become very strong otherwise. They are already strong. Over the number of births which you have taken so far, through how many births you have passed through and how many times you have involved yourself in worldly matters, that means the negative forces have become very strong. So you have to follow these instructions. First is purity. You have to maintain purity level. God is a personification of purity. If you keep practicing the maintenance of purity, even in that process itself you feel joy, great joy. See, recently we had gone to Ganges to attend the retreat. The moment you enter the Ganges premises, you feel a kind of joy, a kind of peace. You feel the atmospheric vibration, pure atmosphere, vibrations of divine ideas, soothing effect. You clearly feel the difference between the atmosphere inside Ganges and outside. And then the class on Vivekananda, how nicely everybody enjoyed it, everybody. That means your mind must be tuned. Then only you will get the benefit. Mind must be alert. No room for tamasic display. Never allow tamasic nature to overpower you. That's the point. Now secondly, Swami Vivekananda tells you patience. At first there will be wonderful manifestations, but they will all cease. This is the hardest period, but hold fast. In the end, the gain is sure if you have patience. Don't be impatient. Hold on to practices steadfastly. Then you will see the result. Thirdly, perseverance. Perseverance through thick and thin, through health and sickness. Never miss a day in practice. All these are in 6 lessons on yoga. It's nice to read that book. And Swamiji tells further, the best time for practice is the junction of day and night, the calmest time in the tides of our bodies, the 0 point between 2 states. If this can't be done, practice upon rising and then going to bed. Great personal cleanliness is necessary. A daily bath. How meticulously the details are given. Daily bath you must take. Daily you must clean your body. They're all process of maintaining cleanliness. After bathing, Sit down and hold the seat firm. That is, imagine that you sit as firm as a rock, that nothing can move you. Hold the head and shoulders and the hips in a straight line, keeping the spinal column free. All action is along it, and it must not be impaired. Begin with your toes and think of each part of your body as perfect. Picture it so in your mind, touching each part if you prefer to do so. Pass upward bit by bit until you reach the head, thinking of each as perfect, lacking nothing. Then think of the whole as perfect, an instrument given to you by God to enable you to attain truth, the vessel in which you are to cross the ocean and reach the shores of eternal truth. When this has been done, take a long breath through both nostrils, throw it out again, and then hold it out as long as you comfortably can. Take 4 such breaths, pranayama. Then breathe naturally and pray for illumination. Swami's instructions on meditation. I meditate on the glory of that being who created this universe. May he illuminate my mind. Sit and meditate on this 10 or 15 minutes. He doesn't say 1 hour. 10 or 15 minutes, do like this. Tell your experiences to no one but your Guru. Don't keep on broadcasting to each and everyone. Talk as little as possible. Keep your thoughts on virtue. What we think, we tend to become. Holy meditation helps to burn out all mental impurities. All who are not yogis are slaves. Bond after bond must be broken to make us free. All can find the reality beyond. If God is true, we must feel Him as a fact. And if there is a soul, we ought to be able to see it and feel it. The only way to find if there be a soul is to be something which is not the body. The yogis class our organs under 2 chief heads: organs of sense and organs of motion, or knowledge and action. The intellect, the internal organ or mind, has 4 aspects. First, manas, the cogitating or thinking faculty, which is usually almost entirely wasted because uncontrolled. Properly governed, it's a wonderful power. Second, buddhi, the will, sometimes called the intellect. Third, ahankar, the self-conscious egotism. Fourth, chitta, the substance in and through which all the faculties act. The floor of the mind, as it were. That's called chitta, or the sea in which the various faculties are waves. Yoga is the science by which we stop chitta from assuming or becoming transformed into several faculties. As the reflection of the moon on the sea is broken or blurred by the waves, so is the reflection of the Atman, the true self, broken by the mental waves. Only when the sea is stilled to mirror-like calmness can the reflection of the moon be seen, and only when the mind stuff, the chitta, is controlled to absolute calmness is the self to be recognized. The mind is not the body, though it is matter in a finer form. It is not eternally bound by the body. This is proved as we get occasionally loosened from it. We can learn to do this at will by controlling the senses. When we can do that fully, we shall control the universe, because our world is only what the senses bring us. Freedom is a test of the higher being. Spiritual life begins when you have loosened yourself from the control of the senses. He whose senses rule him is worldly. He is a slave. If we could entirely stop our mind stuff from breaking into waves, it would put an end to our bodies. For millions of years we have worked so hard to manufacture these bodies that in the struggle we have forgotten our real purpose in getting them, which was to become perfect. We have grown to think that body making is the end of our efforts. This is Maya. We must break this delusion and return to our original aim and realize we are not the body, it is our servant. Learn to take the mind out and to see that it is separate from the body. We endow the body with sensation and life and then think it is alive and real. We have worn it so long that we forget that it is not identical with us. Yoga is to help us put off our body when we please and see it as our servant, our instrument, not our ruler. Controlling the mental powers is a first great aim in yoga practices. The second is concentrating them in full force upon any subject. You can't be a yogi if you talk much, so you have to control your speech. Engage yourself in healthy activities willingly, in a determined way. That's the way to counteract laziness. So, one should be active in a constructive way, not in a destructive way. Everything must be properly understood and applied in life. So many activities are there. Any thinking is called mental activity. But then, if you think bad thoughts, it is destructive. Instead of uplifting yourself, you are ruining yourself by brooding over bad things, bad thoughts. So you have to always think good thoughts. That's why they suggest every day chant some hymns and prayers, utter divine name of God. That type of mental activity should have. So if you engage your mind willingly that way, then the spiritual mind becomes stronger and stronger. You are nourishing the spiritual mind by these prayers and repetition of the divine name. And then you are able to counteract the negative forces obstructing your spiritual path. There are so many negative samskaras, as I said in the beginning. Just we are touching upon a few only. The next one is tendency to hoard. How to counteract that? Do something good, that is, some selfless deed. Helping a poor man by giving him food, educating a needy boy or girl. These are the ways of practicing charity. This is the way to curb the tendency to hoard. Sri Ramakrishna said in the Gospel, page 696, your giving money away in charity is very good. Those who have money should give in charity. The miser's wealth is spirited away, but the money of the charitable person is saved. He spends it for a righteous purpose. At Kamarpukur, Sri Ramakrishna said, I have seen the farmers cutting channels to irrigate their fields. Sometimes the water rushes in with such force that the ridges around the fields are washed away and the crops destroyed. For this reason, what the farmers do? The farmers make holes here and there in the ridges. Since the water escapes through the holes, the ridges are not destroyed by the rush of the water. Furthermore, the escaping water deposits soft clay in the fields, which increases their fertility and gives a richer crop. He who gives away in charity achieves the four fruits: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel. There is another negative force which is very obstructive: greediness. So, understand the uselessness of excess possession. You have to apply vichara shakti. You must apply vichara. What's the use of having so much of possession? Then, lack of enthusiasm in a task undertaken. Sometimes it comes. The solution is have perseverance and patience. Vindictive attitude, how to overcome. Recognize the weakness of others. How to overcome feeling jealous. Recognize the greatness of others. By recognizing the greatness of others, jealousy can be subdued. Revengeful attitude. These are all very common to the people in the world. To overcome revengeful attitude, one must develop pardoning mind. And another worst obstruction, the worst negative force is angry. How to get rid of anger? Many people keep on asking. The only way is to look upon everyone as manifestation of God. If you have that feeling, then you'll be able to control the anger and uproot the anger. You must become aware of your spiritual ideal. So you must feel everything in this universe, animate and inanimate. He is nothing but the manifestation of the Divine Lord. You must strongly feel that way. Then forgetfulness. There's another negative force which bothers most of the people. How to counteract that? The solution is given. Withdraw your mind from preoccupation with non-essential things of life. You are loading the mind with so many things. Naturally you forget. So they advise to withdraw the mind from preoccupation with non-essential things of life. How to overcome happening of misfortune? Develop mental equipoise. Occurrence of adversities, so many difficult situations come on account of so many various factors. How to face them? Try to see unity in diversity. And fear is one more negative force. Not to overcome fear, banish all ideas of manifoldness. Must have Vedantic ideology. Must apply Vedanta little bit. Dejection over past events. Dejection. Something happened and you think over it and get into depressive mood. How to overcome that? Please know that everything, even this, will pass away. If you feel that way, then you won't get that mood of dejection. Worrying about future. Future is a result of present. Hence, utilize fully the present. That's the way of counteracting worrying about the future. Utilize fully the present. Think of the present. That's all. Do it properly, diligently. Sometimes people complain that they are tired due to work. Why you didn't come to Aarti today? Oh, I am tired. By the time I return from office, I simply lie down on the bed. Can't do anything. So much tiredness. How do? That's also negative force. Because it's obstructing your spiritual path. You can't do Aarti in your home. At least you can attend the place where the Aarti is being done. But many people don't understand that. Is Aarti important? Immediately the question comes to them. Everything in spiritual matter is important. We do services here for what? For the sake of the spiritual aspirants. For the sake of spiritual aspirants only the temple is being constructed, the big chapel is made, Sunday services are done, Tuesday, Friday classes are taken, retreats are done, whole summer, just to keep you engaged in a healthy spiritual way. That's the idea. Lacking efficiency. How to overcome that? Develop concentration. Because on each chapter we can talk voluminous, but I'm just pinpointing the solution. That's all. Then if any particular negative force is bothering you, you apply the force and try to understand more clearly and then take effective steps. Shocks of nature. Sometimes you hear tornado suddenly coming, devastating. Sometimes floods coming, and sometimes lots of people are dying out of epidemic diseases. So many things happen in the nature. So how to think, study the working of nature. So like that there are so many negative forces are there to counteract. Another negative force is mental distraction. How to counteract that? Do meditation. No interest in meditation. That's also a negative force. You want to meditate but no interest. How to fight that? The sages suggest combine meditation with devotional songs. Devotional songs. You can feel the difference. You do one bhajan, little singing, and then sit for meditation. You enjoy meditation nicely. Feeling sleepy in meditation. Try to keep the mind centered at its source. If you follow these steps and apply the spiritual techniques definitely you will get peace. Definitely you will enjoy happiness and you go towards God, undoubtedly. Page 822, 823. A sound was heard downstairs and she exclaimed, "There she comes." She went down, but it was not the Brahmani. Sri Ramakrishna sat there smiling. Yam says that this place is better than Nanda's. The devotion of these people is amazing. Sri Ramakrishna laughed. The Brahmani's sister exclaimed, "Here comes sister." The Brahmani came and saluted the master. She was beside herself with joy. She did not know what to say. In a half-choked voice she said, "This joy is too much for me. Perhaps I should die of it. Tell me, friends, how shall I be able to live? I did not feel such a thrill even when Chandi, my daughter, used to visit the house accompanied by liveried footmen with armed guards lining both sides of the street. Now I have no trace of my grief at her death. I was afraid he," means Sri Ramakrishna, "I was afraid Sri Ramakrishna would not come. Then I thought that if that happened, I should throw into Ganges all the things I had arranged for his reception and entertainment. I should not speak to him any more. If he visited a place, I should go there, look at him from a distance, and then come away. Let me go and tell everybody how happy I am. Let me go and tell Yogini of my good luck." Still overwhelmed with joy, she said, "A laborer won 100,000 rupees in a lottery. The moment he heard the news, he died of joy. Yes, he really and truly died. I am afraid the same thing is going to happen to me. Please bless me, friends, or else I shall certainly die." Because she was not able to contain the happiness. So much of happiness she is feeling in the presence of Sri Ramakrishna. The whole grief was taken out from her mind, the grief of losing her daughter. Yam was amazed to see the Brahmani's sincere joy and her ecstatic mood. He was about to take the dust of her feet. "Yam, what are you doing?" she exclaimed and saluted Yam. The Brahmani was extremely happy at the sight of the devotees. She said, "I am so happy to see you all here. I am so happy to see you all here. I have brought the younger Narain. Without him, who would then be to make us laugh?" She was talking like this when her sister came and said, "Come down, sister. How can I manage things if you stay here? Can I do it all by myself?" But the Brahmani was overwhelmed with joy. She could not take her eyes from the master and the devotees. After a while, she very respectfully took Sri Ramakrishna to another room and offered him sweets and other refreshments. The devotees were entertained on the roof. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening. Sri Ramakrishna was ready to leave. When he came to the door, the Brahmani asked her sister-in-law to salute the master. Next, one of her brothers took the dust of the master's feet. Referring to him, she said, "He is one of my brothers. He is a fool." "No, no," said the master. "They are all good." A man showed the way with a light. At places it was dark. Sri Ramakrishna stood in front of the cowshed. The devotees gathered around him. Yam saluted the master, who was about to go to the house of Ganu's mother. We shall stop here. About the negative forces, how to fight them out vigorously, boldly, courageously, in a determined way. You have to take the medicine. Without taking the medicine, how the disease will be cured? I have given the drugs now, today. Take bit by bit and try. Spiritual matters are like that. You have to be... Now, if you really... That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, Tivra Vyakulata, deep yearning, intense yearning to realize God. If you have that, surely everything comes by itself. So we shall not think about negative forces. We shall concentrate upon strengthening positive forces. That's the way. You should not give room to think in any other manner. That means your mind must be filled up with divine ideas, with divine name, with divine form, and every day you must vigorously, inspiringly chant and do Parayanam every day. Either Ramayana or Bhagavat or whatever, or Devi Mahatmya, whatever book you choose, hold on to that and have tremendous faith and confidence in yourself. Don't waste time unnecessarily in seeing others, how he is doing, how she is doing, how he, she, how she, why all sorts of things. If you are very eager to look upon yourself. Look upon yourself. That means look upon your mind. What is the state of your mind? How it is behaving? Is it all right? So one has to have calmness, perseverance, and patience. No room for laziness. A spiritual person should be more active than a worldly person. A worldly person, his activity makes him exhausted. But a spiritual person, his activity doesn't make him exhausted. There's a difference. The reason is he is calm and steady and clear thinking, and he surrenders himself to the Divine Lord. So everything is taken care of. All it we shall stop. Okay. Thanks. I hope you will all enjoy that. Not only you should enjoy, you should make your friends also share that joy. So bring your friends. People waste their time and money in so many things. Let them use it in a proper way, at least for the retreat. Anyway, it will enrich your spiritual mind and you will be strengthened more and more. You will understand more and more the value and significance of spiritual life. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bought for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrated at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery, may the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe is satisfied.